Have you made a decision?
Yeah, I'm thinking we look for the Honey Island swamp monster.
I'm not super thrilled by the idea of swamps, but besides that, it doesn't really make a difference to me.
Oh, did someone hear swamp and get excited?
All I can picture is her getting all wet and muddy. She likes that idea.
Of course she does.
If you do that, you will absolutely be getting a bath afterwards.
Let me guess. She's gonna do it anyway?
You know it.
After finding and leaving the White River Monster in Arkansas, we decided we would be traveling further south. We were still just getting back into the swing of things, finding our groove, so we didn't want to take on anything too ambitious. I took a look around at nearby legends and potential cryptids, and I chose one that looked suitable. Our destination would be Slidell, Louisiana.
Alright, tell me all about this swamp monster. What'd you call it? Honey Lake or something?
Close. The Honey Island swamp monster.
Right, Honey Island. I do like the sound of that.
Unless there's just a bunch of bees.
Fair point. As usual, that name tells me nothing about it. I will at least hazard a guess that it lives in said swamps.
Yes, much like the many lake monsters that live in lakes and the river monsters that live in rivers, the Honey Island swamp monster does indeed live in the Honey Island swamp area.
At least they're consistent.
It does have some other names we could go with. We've got the Louisiana Wookiee, the Bayou Beast.
Wookiee? Jesus! And Bayou Beast sounds like the mascot of a sports team.
It really does.
Ugh. Let's stick with Honey Island Swamp Monster, I guess.
Right. So, the Honey Island Swamp Monster, I'm just going to call it Swamp Monster for short. The Swamp Monster is usually described as a bipedal creature, 7 feet tall, and weighing 400 pounds, with gray fur and a terrible smell.
So, another Sasquatch?
Maybe. Well, probably, but we'll get to that. The first sighting comes from a man named Harlan Ford.
Indiana Jones? I'm joking!
Sometimes I can't tell with you. Ford, not Harrison, was a wildlife photographer. Well, actually, he was an air traffic controller, but then he took up wildlife photography after he retired.
Aw, that's actually really sweet.
He had flown over the area and saw an abandoned cabin or just an interesting clearing or something. I've seen it reported different ways. Either way, there was an area that he wanted to try to go back and find on foot. So he goes into the swamp, and while he's out there, he sees this creature for a second before it disappears into the underbrush. He was quoted as saying, "It was nothing like I'd ever seen before, ugly and sinister and looking like something out of a horror movie." That was it for about 10 years. Then, in 1974, Ford was out there again with a friend when they found the body of a boar. Or multiple bodies, because again, I've seen it both ways. But at least one boar had its throat torn open. And then they took a closer look around and realized that the area was surrounded by webbed three-toed footprints.
Webbed? And 3 toes? That doesn't sound like an ape.
Yeah, that part stuck out to me too. The only other account I could find, and this one is real brief, but supposedly a man named Ted Williams claimed that he had seen it multiple times, until one day he went out fishing in the swamp and was never seen again. Ooh, spooky.
Yeah, a cryptid ate him, I'm sure.
Just telling you what I found, whether I believe it or not.
But that's it for sightings?
Yeah.
Okay. Any theories? Besides, I guess, Sasquatch with a birth defect?
Oh, do I have a theory for you? Supposedly, and I'm sure the locals swear it's true because they heard it from a friend of a friend of a friend, but supposedly, in the early 1900s, a traveling circus was going through the area and one of their trains derailed. specifically the train carrying all the exotic animals. The animals escaped in the crash and fled into the swamp. Included among those animals was a troop of chimpanzees.
Chimpanzees? That doesn't explain the webbed feet.
That's because they went on to interbreed with the local alligators.
I'm sorry, they what?
And the resulting half-chimp, half-gator abominations have stalked the area ever since.
Jesus.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that one. There's also a creature in Cajun folklore called the Latiche, which, depending on the story, was either some sort of half-human, half-gator monster, or the spirit of a child raised by alligators.
At least that one can be explained by magic, and not goddamn chimps fucking goddamn alligators!
A few people have also floated the idea of it being a loup-garou, which, if you remember, is basically a Cajun werewolf.
Loup-garous, yeah. Shit. We completely forgot about Leon.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. We should visit him after this. We're gonna be super close by.
Yeah, definitely.
And then, yeah, besides the weird feet, it does sound a lot like it could be a Bigfoot.
Agreed. Living in the swamp? Terrible smell? Sounds like skunk ape again. Guess we'll find out.
We finally drove into Slidell, a decent-sized city half an hour east of New Orleans. Oh my god, did you see that sign for Lake Pontchartrain? We are so close.
Okay.
Ludo? You've never heard that song? Come down to Lake Pontchartrain. Water zombies?
Don't think so. I would have remembered water zombies.
Oh, I am so adding that into the rotation next time we're on the road.
When it's your turn, you can play whatever you want.
We found our motel, checked in, and got our things settled. Since there hadn't been any recent sightings, we decided to just start by exploring the town, asking around, and seeing if anyone knew anything that might be of use. Hi, do you have a moment?
A moment? Me, I'm retired. All I got is moments. What you need?
We're just asking folks around town if they've seen anything weird, or know anyone who has.
You working with that weird fella I talked to yesterday?
Sorry, who?
I don't know. He said private investigator, but I didn't see no gun. He sure don't look like the ones on TV. He was looking for a missing girl or something.
I'm sorry, we should have clarified. Weird animals.
We're wildlife researchers.
Oh, so you two are talking about the swamp monster, huh?
Yes.
Well, in that case, no. I never seen no swamp monster. That's just a legend from the old folks around town. You wasting your time with that one. Somebody's pulling your chain, pal.
I see. Well, thank you for your time.
Hey, no problem. Me, I'm just happy to help. Have a good day.
Huh. Think that missing girl could have anything to do with the swamp monster?
I don't know. I doubt it.
There was that little girl with the Jersey Devil.
Yeah, but people also go missing, literally all the time, for plenty of mundane reasons. I'm sure it's just a coincidence.
Right. Yeah, that's a good...
You okay?
Yeah, I just... For a second there, I could have sworn there was a girl down the road there that looked just like Annie. Sorry, I wasn't expecting that. I just need a minute.
Oh, God. Yeah, of course. Take all the time you need.
The next morning, we left our motel room to get breakfast before another day of interviewing townsfolk. Before we could get too far, though, we were greeted by a man leaning against a cool-looking old red sports car. Now, I'm not really a car guy, but I learned later that it was a 1991 Pontiac Firehawk for anyone who cares about that sort of thing. He held a slushie in one hand and a piece of paper in the other.
Terrible for my teeth, I know, but I can't help it. It's better than smoking, right? Hi, name's Elias. Do you two have a minute?
Sure?
Have you been staying here a while?
I think you've got the wrong...
My apologies. I'm looking for a girl named Meredith. Her family hired me. Last I could find, she was staying at this motel. I've just been trying to figure out if anyone's seen her.
Oh, no, we just got in yesterday. Sorry.
Random question, but do you think it has anything to do with the swamp monster?
Right, the local legend. Doubtful, but that's certainly a colorful possibility. Anyway, this is what she looks like, on the off chance you do see anything.
We will certainly keep an eye out.
Alright, well, I'm in room 12. Or you can just find my car. I appreciate it.
We spent the day asking around again, but we were still coming up empty. Most people we talked to were familiar with the legend, but no one really believed in it. We couldn't find anyone that had seen it or anyone that knew someone who did. And we finally called it a day around dinner time.
I'm not gonna say there was never a creature out in the swamps, but there is the possibility that whatever was here might be long gone.
Yeah, maybe. Let's just go out there for a day at least. Maybe we'll get lucky. I mean, especially if it is a Bigfoot, you've always had a good knack for finding them.
It's worth a shot.
On the outskirts of town was the Old Pearl River. Since it ran alongside the entire length of the swamp, we figured the river would be the easiest way to cover a lot of the area. So we called around and arranged a boat rental. The next morning, we got on our boat and headed out there. Sure enough, Mia's spidey sense started going off within the hour.
It's some kind of Sasquatch, all right.
Really? You can already tell?
Oh, yeah. Definitely picking up some Sasquatch signals. Let's keep going.
We continued on for about 45 minutes until Mia directed me to cut the engine. We then drifted a little further downstream.
All right, this should be it.
Yeah, I can smell it, but now what? Do you just summon it or whatever like the others?
Yeah, I guess so. Give me a second. There you are.
You never fail to impress me. Almost as quickly as it had appeared from behind a tree, the creature jumped into the river and disappeared beneath the water. Well, that was quick.
Yeah, it got spooked. It sensed there was someone... Oh...
Hello again. That was interesting.
What?
You don't have to put on this little act. I saw it.
You seem pretty calm for someone who just saw a swamp monster.
Well, so do you.
Touché. Well, this isn't our first time.
Yeah, I've seen some weird stuff before too.
I thought you were looking for a missing girl.
I wanted to check out the area. Just rule it out as a possibility. Which I'm now pretty confident in doing. She never mentioned any interest in the paranormal, and that thing certainly didn't seem to give you two any trouble.
Yeah, I can tell you that creature isn't dangerous. Territorial maybe, skittish, but not dangerous. Actually, you don't still have a picture of that girl, do you?
What good would it be if I didn't keep it on me?
Could I see it for a minute?
Sure.
You know, I just remembered something. I may actually have a lead for you.
Really?
Yeah, when we were asking around town about the monster, we happened to overhear some people talking. Fishermen.
We did?
Yeah, you don't remember?
Oh, right. Yeah.
They said they were out fishing and they saw some out-of-towners camping on the edge of the water. Must have been further down. That way.
Is that so?
Yeah, just occurred to me, it might be your missing girl.
I'll have to look into that. Thanks.
You're going right now?
I'm on the clock, friend!
Okay, what was that all about? You know I'm terrible at improv.
You know how my powers are more based on emotions and pictures instead of words?
Yeah?
Well, I had an idea. I looked at the picture and then I sent an image of it to the creature to see if they had seen anything.
And that worked?
Yeah, I got a mental image in return. The creatures, I could tell there was more than one, they had seen a man and a woman camping along the river. I could see it, what they had seen, and the woman was definitely her.
Oh, wow. Good thinking.
It was just luck. She could have been anywhere, but I figured it was worth a try.
We headed back upriver and returned to our rooms. It was time to clean up, pack our things, and bathe one very muddy tatzelworm. You're really gonna make me do this on my own?
You know I've got to finish this sketch while the memory is still vivid.
Yeah, sounds like a good excuse to me.
Fritz, relax. You stay calm and it'll be done faster.
The next morning, after a quick breakfast, we went out to load up the car. Elias.
Hey, thanks for that tip. I found her.
Don't mention it.
Was she okay?
Oh yeah, we had a nice long chat. Family hated her boyfriend, so they ran off, you know? She seems to have a good head on her shoulders, so I'll have to tell the family she's safe. But that's it.
Well, I'm glad that all worked out. Oh, hey, you said you've seen weird stuff before?
Sure have.
You seem like a good person to know. We should stay in touch.
Here's my card.
Field notes: Honey Island Swamp Monster. Named, of course, for the Honey Island swamp area. The creature appeared to be a relative of other Sasquatch species we've encountered, albeit one adapted to a semi-aquatic lifestyle. The general size and shape of the creature was similar to all the other Sasquatch species. It was a large, bipedal ape measuring 7.5 feet tall. It had a dark grayish-blue skin and brown fur streaked with green, presumably patches of moss. Unlike Sasquatch, however, the Honey Island swamp monster had much less fur. Its head was basically completely hairless. It had fur on the back of its neck and shoulders, continuing down onto the top of its forearms. Thankfully, fur covered its pubic area, as well as its outer thighs and the area from its knees to its ankles. The rest of its body was bare skin. There are many reasons why fur can be detrimental in the water: weight, drag, poor heat insulation. This is why other aquatic mammals lost their fur, and if this creature spends most of its time in the water, a similar transition would make sense. The other big indicator that this creature is aquatic are its feet. True to the reported footprints, the creature had 3 webbed toes, with a smaller 4th toe on the outside. This would almost certainly help with swimming. The toenails were also more prominent, although given their size, I suppose claws would be more accurate. Although, interestingly, its hands still seemed pretty normal for a primate. We didn't see the creature for long, so I can't say much about its behavior and diet. Given the aquatic adaptations, they probably eat a good amount of fish. And of course, similar to the others, the one we encountered seemed to have a highly developed power similar to mine. I asked it about that missing girl, and not only was it able to relay the message to other members of its species, but it was able to relay a message back to me. I know we've talked before about these creatures being close to humans in intelligence, but honestly, they could be just as smart as us. Sure, they don't speak or read and write, but if they can all communicate psychically, they wouldn't have ever needed to develop a language. Finding out that we weren't alone in the universe was one thing, but the thought that we're not alone on our own planet? That's almost weirder somehow. End field notes.
The Cryptid Cases has been a production of Little Giant Monsters. Find out more about us at littlegiantmonsters.com and by searching for Little Giant Monsters on social media. Every Monday after a new episode, we share a cryptid sketch, so be sure to look out for that. If you're enjoying the Cryptid Cases and want to help support us, find us on Patreon. Rewards include behind-the-scenes content, early access to episodes, and access to our Discord. A huge thanks to all our current patrons. Links to our Patreon, our merch, and other shows we're creating are all available on our website or in the description of this episode. Another way to support our work is through ratings and comments on Apple Podcasts and other podcast apps. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again soon.